live here on Smarter San Diego, making you smarter than everyone else. The wonderful Melissa Sofia joining us today.
Hi.
Great to have you back.
Always good to be here.
And first timer on the show, Joe Hindle's here. What's up, Joe?
How you doing, man?
Good.
Yes.
Where are you from, Joe?
I'm from Manchester, England, so I'm going to try and slow it down a little bit today. A little bit.
You guys talk fast down there in Manchester,
yeah.
don't you?
Really quick.
Okay. Did you say soccer or football?
I've started saying soccer now, unfortunately, but it's a bit sad, but yeah, it is football.
Do you like rugby? Rugby guy?
Kind of, but it's dead in America, so I don't get to see it anymore. So.
What's rugby?
Rugby? Ouch.
It's a tough one.
I don't know. I'm from Southern California, so we're like, is it at the beach?
Well, in San Diego, we held the rugby sevens.
Oh, did we?
Like, I don't know, every year
We
for a
did.
while.
We did?
Yeah, at Petco.
We did.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Good to know.
So anyway, marketing
Sorry.
traps on Zillow and Redfin.
Sorry, rugby people.
Marketing
that's
traps
too
on
funny.
Zillow and Redfin. So here's one thing. I personally have not seen the traps on Redfin. I like the Redfin website. I think it's helpful. It's useful. It's probably the best technology out there as far as websites are concerned.
Yes.
I don't
Redfin
know.
is actually they're found less on Redfin, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So you would agree?
I would agree.
They're the better of the two
Absolutely.
breeds. Personally, I think there's such a great distance between Zillow and Redfin. I don't even know how Zillow is still around, except that they are what I would say a lower integrity situation where they're able to stick around because they're willing to do some things that some people would call shady, some people would call misleading.
Questionably unethical.
Yeah. And so I've tested these things, and
Interesting.
I have. So in Missouri, which by the way is where Joe went to school.
That's right.
Went to college.
Wow. You
I
two
went to
have
college in
something
Missouri. I was
common.
born and raised in Missouri.
There you go.
And so I tested this in Missouri. I've tested this out here. It's really easy to do if you're willing to get bombarded by phone calls.
Exactly what? Oh, okay. So you tested this. You put in your contact information, saw what happened.
Correct.
Okay.
And there's several different, traps they have on Zillow, to mouse traps, let's say, to try to get you into. And I put my information into a couple of different ones. Sounds of Freedom, flying above. Thanks, boys and girls. So the thing that I did was I put my information in and just said, let's just see what happens.
Sure.
And
Was there any particular listing or a description that you were putting your contact information?
the most deceptive thing that I saw was going on and it said for sale by owner.
Sure.
Or something like that. Maybe it was Make Me Move, or I can't remember. It was some kind of program. It was like, hey, this homeowner is selling their house. You're interested in finding out details? Put your information in.
Right.
And so I did. And then what happened was I got a lot of phone
Bombarded.
calls. Yeah, I got bombarded by real estate agents.
Absolutely.
So I did not get the homeowner. It was sort of displayed as though, oh, you can talk to the homeowner this way. Give them your information. You guys can chat.
Absolutely.
But that's not what happened. Not even close. It was a complete bait and switch.
Right. Bait and switch is a great way to put it. There are actually a number of, I would say, deceptive marketing techniques that are used specifically on Zillow that I am constantly having to talk my clients through, literally on a daily basis. They'll send me links, and I'm like, well, let me explain to you that this property is not $415,000 in Del Mar. It's actually in Mexico. But now you've given your contact information. Seriously,
It's actually in Mexico.
Yes,
That happened.
Yes, there's a listing right now. You could look it up. It's
Okay.
I just sent you, I think, in your email.
Oh, this one?
Yes.
This says
No,
Temecula?
that's different. That's
Oh, this is a different one?
It's in your email, I believe. So it's listed as a property for $415,000, and it says Plaza Del Mar. It gives an address, like a map location on Via del Valle, or actually that's different. It's on the beach. It gives a location on the beach in Del Mar, and it says it's Plaza Del Mar. Gives the correct school district. But in fact, if you read into it, if you look up Plaza Del Mar, there is no 7-story condo complex in that location.
This is a different website.
Yes. So this one was actually found on Zillow, which was then It was just recently removed. It was on there for like 2 weeks though.
Gotcha, but it's still showing on
It's
this
still showing
other
on another website, which pulled from Zillow and then now has that.
Gotcha. So the place that pulled the information from Zillow still has it on their website.
Exactly.
Interesting. So, and by the way, Josh Wells, what's up? He says, watching from Kansas City. This is live. We are live on
There he
Facebook
is.
right now. So if you have a story about working with Zillow or Redfin, you want to chime in, positive or negative, we want, this isn't a bash session. We just want to educate, we want to make you smarter than everyone else. So if you have comments or experiences, please comment or just say hi, say what's up. We'll say what's up back. So
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. Buyers should be able to go onto a website that they trust and, search for homes, email, call to action. So either email or call an agent to ask questions, schedule an appointment. People are putting their contact information thinking that they're actually reaching out to an agent that's involved in listing the home that they've discussed. It really kind of takes a savvy person to see, past the Zillow Premier agent and like the 3 following agents.
the little magic that they're doing there.
Right.
They're like, here it is.
Exactly.
No, it's this.
Yes. I mean, if you really want to call the person that's responsible for listing that home, you have to look for the specific words listing provided by. That is, that's actually a requirement that they show who the listing is required by. It's not that easy to find.
And by the way, I can show you that on Redfin. We do have one property on Redfin that you had sent me where it does show that on the map it looks like it's on Via della Vai here. And this particular 1.25 acre parcel that you're looking at is probably worth about $30 or $40 million.
Absolutely.
So it's not $2,400. Now, I don't see this happen on Redfin very often, and it does go on to say, that it's in the San Diego School District and stuff like that down here. If you get to the actual schools and whatnot, it looks like, oh, okay, this is legit. It's Torrey Pines High School. It's Solana Vista Elementary. So something is just quirky and went wrong here, which is fine. What's up, Allison? She says she's watching from the UK. That must be one of yours,
That's my
my
lovely
friend.
mother. That's
Yes,
my mother.
that's his mother. There
There
she
you go.
is. What's up, mums?
Hi, Mom. Mom?
So,
Mum.
I don't see stuff like that too often, but I will say this. So, let's pick a zip code. What zip code should we check out?
Check out Carmel Valley, 92130.
No problem. Let's look there. So, if you look in Carmel Valley and you pull up a listing, let's pull up a hot home. Those are the ones people like the most. So, pull up this hot home here. Where you're going to find the actual listing information. So, if here you see they say schedule tool here or whatever, that's all with Redfin. That has nothing to do with the listing agent.
Exactly.
You
Ask
have
a
to look
question. That's
underneath
also
the map right here.
Right. That's it. See, everything you're seeing on the right where it says schedule a tour, ask a question, those are not being directed to anyone related to the actual listing.
No, this is just Redfin that you're asking a question.
What's happening here is when you enter in your information, when you type a message, email, or call, your information is being farmed and sold. You're actually bait. You're bait so that, a website, Redfin, Zillow, can, pull you into their database and then sell your information to agents.
And in most cases with Redfin, they're using their own agents, but they also do have partner agents that they will give that information to if they're too busy, right, with their current agent. So as far as, staying in line with these traps, how not to get tricked by them, this is sort of a buyer beware situation. Like
it is.
Know how this stuff works.
Exactly.
At least, so that you don't catch yourself being discouraged. Because the only thing that concerns me about this, and I'm much less concerned about Redfin than I am Zillow on this, is that it discourages people from getting involved in the process. Because if your first experience is getting bait and switched, like I felt, and I did this in Missouri too. I got a lot less calls in Missouri. Okay.
I can't imagine
I still
less.
got several.
There has to be a seriously smaller number of realtors per just square mile.
So per capita, yeah. So I got a lot of calls here. Still got multiple calls there. They didn't hound me forever though. Most of them called me once, sent me an email, and they were like, okay. The Zillow calls from agents here was just like crazy. So if that's someone's first experience, I could easily see people just being like,
Done.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if I have time to handle this.
Immediately, they're disillusioned by the process. They're mistrustful. They're mistrustful of agents, real estate agents, and you have to consider when this is happening, you are being contacted by a specific type of agent. you're either being contacted by an assistant or a marketing team that is specifically trained to collect your information, pre-qualify you, and then pass on your lead, if you are qualified lead, over to a higher level agent. But what you're not getting is someone who can actually answer your question about the home in particular, who is more knowledgeable than just what is on the MLS.
Right.
So, I would say the best thing for you to do in this kind of situation is really get a referral from someone you trust, interview, find a quality agent, because then you can send them the link and go, is this legit? Is this a real listing? When can I see it? And then you can go there with someone you trust.
Ask Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask your
There it
Facebook,
is.
like, hey, who have you worked
Exactly.
with that you had an amazing real estate experience?
Yeah.
That's a
Exactly.
much better way to go about it
100%.
than to fire off your information into a website.
We actually found one of my clients sent a link, and it was a really interesting situation. I had actually never realized. See, some agents right now are now trying to find a workaround around paying all of this money for all of these leads, because obviously, just like you'd said, these leads are being called by several people, maybe even more. Maybe their numbers being sold several times over, so they stop answering. They stop being willing to talk to you. So agents are now finding a workaround. One thing that we found, this link, the one on Corte Soledad in Temecula, that one was actually listed as, at the time that we found it, my clients had found it as a coming soon. And it looks legit. They go through a description. They go through a phone number, saying call for an exclusive showing. So my clients were actually smart. They sent me the link and they said, can you schedule a showing for us on the day that I was going to take them to, or that we were going to take them to some other listings. Well, what was interesting, what happened was I did not get any call back as an agent. Immediately, there's actually a phone tree that says, are you a buyer, are you an agent? Agent, leave a message, boom. Didn't have any answer.
So then I went through it. And if you go back on there as well, if you go back on the Zillow link, you can see the pictures.
Yeah.
It's just the front of the house, so it doesn't really give too much away.
That is a red flag right there.
Yeah.
Why are there only pictures of the exterior?
So is this not a real listing? Is that what you're saying? Or what?
Well,
Yeah, so I called up and I was trying to act as a buyer instead of a buyer's agent. So when I called up, as soon as I said I'm a buyer, it was kind of like straight to the marketing team and question. It was pretty impressive actually, the way they were quick.
a rigorous, pre-qualifying, fast fire
Yeah.
question series.
So they didn't want to talk about the property.
No
just
matter
trying to
how
qualify.
many
Yeah.
times he kept going, he had it on speakerphone. No matter how many times he kept going back to when can I see it,
Yeah.
when are you going to put pictures up? Is there a bedroom downstairs? It just was like, well, let me just ask you this one question. Where are you looking for homes? When do you need to buy? It was obvious. As an agent,
That's like boiler room.
Right.
It was.
And
Crazy.
they just kept saying, just to make sure you're not working with an agent, just to make sure.
over and
I was
over
like,
again before they would
Definitely, yeah.
answer questions
Yeah.
on the property.
Did you try to say, I am working with an agent?
No, because they would have just put me onto the side and been like, oh, because that's what we did the first time. We said we have
the
a
first
buyer's
time.
agent, and then they said it's unavailable.
Yes.
So
They actually told me that
So
it
you
wasn't.
split tested it.
Yes, we split tested it.
Wow.
So
we're smart.
yeah, it's not available for showings was the other response. Yes, I'm working with an agent. No, it's not available for showings yet, but we'll let you know when it is. What?
Wow.
So then when he was a buyer, so check this out.
Now it says that this property sold
Well,
on May
last year,
4th for
yeah.
4/0 of
Last year, yeah.
2017.
Which is a bunch of BS because this was just on coming soon. This just happened like a week ago.
Wow.
So what happened
And
was
it's a 4-bedroom. So let's
Yeah.
talk because in this marketplace, this is a Temecula home.
very hot
Yeah.
home.
That's a good one.
hot. That would be a very hot
Right.
commodity for a 4-bedroom,
Absolutely.
3-bath, over 2,000 square feet. For if it really were for
And
sale.
it's in a great area. So what is interesting, what happened is he did go through the whole qualifying process and then scheduled an appointment to view the home with them the next day, not knowing that he was actually, the agent and he was going to be meeting his buyers and bringing the actual buyers along.
So I went there, and then while I was showing the buyers some other homes, I got a call, and then the agent, because actually when we were going to go to the appointment, we were supposed to meet at Starbucks around the corner. It wasn't even meet at the
They
house.
didn't want to meet at the
It
house.
was meet at Starbucks, so that's another red flag right there.
What the
Yeah.
hell
Yes.
is going
So
on?
I agreed to that, and then while I'm showing them a house, I get a call, and he says, the seller has just told me the property, they no longer want to sell the property, but now that you're out here in Temecula, I can show you some other houses.
Oh my God.
So
And they were already prepared with the list of homes that
Yeah.
they could show them, just like the one you called about. But the one that you drove all the way there from San Diego to see 30 minutes before
Yeah.
the appointment is no longer
This is
available.
like House of Cards. Like
Yes.
we're all going to disappear in the next 48 hours.
Pretty sure that I'm disappearing right now.
I'm going to put a GPS on my ankle, starting immediately.
Yeah. it's
This
true.
is breaking down. To say unethical with something like that, if it's true that that was all done intentionally and it wasn't actually
Right.
happenstance,
Right.
then that is beyond unethical.
Yes.
To the point of fraud,
Yes.
to the point of we need CFPB involved.
You're right.
We need federal agencies to be monitoring this, because that's the whole point of government, is to protect people
You're
from
right.
stuff like this.
Well, so we took it a step further.
Really? Oh my gosh.
We canceled the
Pull up a
appointment.
chair.
We canceled the appointment with the agent, and we said, no, we don't want to see any other homes. We only wanted to see that one, so forget it. But we already had the address, so they went to the home itself.
oh yeah, that's another one.
Really?
Yeah. So when we
You
got
are
there,
from England, aren't you?
I am.
You went and knocked on the door.
Keep going, yeah.
We went to knock on the door.
So when we get there, the clients have already said they've drove by a couple of times, so they really want this property.
They really
basically. So
wanted
we
it.
went there, and there was a lady leaving the house as we pulled up, so it was perfect timing. And she said she's been cleaning the house, and basically, what do you want? So I asked, I said, I see the house is coming soon on Zillow. I was wondering if we can just see the property. The cleaner says, I have no idea. Like, I've not heard anything, they're not trying to sell. So she calls the owner
Right in front of him.
right in front of me, so I can hear the conversation. The owner, basically, as soon as she says, I have somebody looking to see the property, the owner's just like, no, speak to the realtor. So the cleaner didn't know that her boss pretty much is trying to move house, so she obviously wasn't trying to move house. So
Wow.
So, I mean, I can't even tell you. I was trying to figure out, is this home owned by an agent at the brokerage? I was flabbergasted by the audacity of that kind of bait and switch. Meet me at the Starbucks around the corner. Oh, just kidding. You're about to meet me, but this home is no longer available to show. Come see these other 5 houses.
Wow.
It was
and
crazy.
I mean, it would work. If a buyer went by themselves, they've already made the drive, so they may as well see
They would.
homes. They may as well.
Wow.
I know. It's sad.
Wow.
It's sad. So,
Clever
Now have you ever seen
It's
anything
clever.
like? I've never seen anything like that on Redfin.
No.
no. This is definitely on Zillow.
This is a Zillow thing
Uh-huh.
for sure, and that's what I mean by, there's such a big difference between the two. I see stuff like this on Zillow all the time.
Right.
In fact, when I was in wine country a couple years ago, I was looking around. Just we were kicking in wine country for a few days. There's really not much to do. You can only drink so much wine. So I was like, all right, let me look at the real estate. So I started looking, on Zillow and seeing kind of what's available there, and looked it up and checked a couple things, made a few phone calls, and started finding out that a lot of the stuff that was listed for sale had been sold, in some cases, up to multiple years. Some of the
Right.
stuff was sold 2 years ago,
Yeah.
but the listing was still on there.
Yes.
Now, I think they've done some stuff since then to try to clean that up, but my experience in looking at it in a foreign place, a place where I didn't know anything about anything or
Where
have
you
any
take
way.
it at face value
Totally.
because you don't know any different.
What else?
Right.
I have no other point of reference.
Yeah.
I'm not an agent. I don't have access to MLS.
Yep.
I'm counting on this to be correct.
Absolutely.
And it was wildly inaccurate. In fact, there were a couple things that were for sale, and I said, oh, well, let's go drive by that one. That looks like a really good deal. It's a lot. It's right here, and they only want 40 grand for it. Like, maybe we'll buy a lot out here in wine
Yeah.
country. Thank goodness it wasn't actually for sale. So
That's
what am I
dangerous.
doing?
That is dangerous.
So, we went and drove by and was like, this isn't for sale.
Right.
There's no sign. There's
It's
nothing here.
terrible. I mean, I would just advise people, if it doesn't feel good off the bat, if you are searching and not understanding, if you call and you're being hounded and you're immediately feeling put off, I would say if it doesn't feel good right off the bat, it probably is not. You know, trust your instincts on that. And if your instincts are not that clever,
Yeah.
again, you know, really find an agent that you can trust. Find someone that has been referred to you by someone who has actually used them. Find someone with excellent reviews, a large number of them if possible.
So a couple things here. So we want to say what's up to James. What's up, James? James Brennis. He says, hate Zillow, but it does show property history. It's usually not current. Good old bait and switch. Yeah, that's happening a lot. Mike Gonzalez, it looks like he's tagged somebody in this to check it out. What's up, Mike? Thanks for commenting here. James says, so should we short Zillow? Yeah, that's the thing. These companies are publicly traded.
Right.
You know, I don't know if Redfin's ever made a profit yet. I think they might eventually. They've reduced their little buyer rebate by quite a bit. It's almost gone now. I think it will be gone completely if it's not soon.
Certain.
Because it's tough. Yeah, Redfin's much better for research for sure.
It is.
James, no question. I wouldn't necessarily short a stock ever, but I certainly wouldn't own Zillow. That's for sure.
Right.
If I owned Zillow, I would sell it immediately.
Exactly.
But it's things like that just can't build you equity in a company over the long run.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
can't
think
discourage people like that.
I don't think that Zillow has ever attempted to be. They've always been in it for the quick buck, though. I think people just don't realize it.
The revenue comes from the real estate industry, though.
Exactly.
So you always have to know, when you're working with any business, you have to know who their customer is.
Right.
Are you their customer? Is someone else their customer? If you are the customer, chances are you will get a good experience. If someone else is the customer and you are just part of the process, then chances are you will not necessarily have a great experience.
Right. Be taken advantage of.
Because if you're not paying Zillow any money, then what loyalty do they have to you?
Right.
Yeah.
Just business-wise.
Yeah, people think, oh yeah, there's just this website and they just put all this free information out here for it to help us. It's not the case.
No.
You know.
Not in Zillow's case, I would
Yeah.
say anyway.
Actually, you're right. Not in Zillow's case.
In Zillow's case, I would say that is
You have
not
to
the
not
case.
be afraid to ask questions. As a buyer, you know, ask questions, understand the process. There are actually other listings. They're so hard to find because they show up and then they're gone before someone else can, you know, put them on a show like this. But my clients will send me listings that are advertised. Like, you know, it's hard to find an example. I'll send you one as soon as my client. It happens literally weekly. For instance, my client had searched for a home in the Poway Unified School District. They kept coming up with these amazingly priced homes under $600,000. You know, new or almost new. Well, when going into the research of it, even though everything looked correct, you know, it appeared to be on a certain map location. It appeared to have the correct school district. When you looked into it, it was actually a development down in Otay. So yeah, okay,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get
You're not gonna get Poway Unified School District, 4 or 5 bedrooms, 2,500 square feet for under $600,000. I mean, that's hard to find.
That's 25 years ago you're
Right.
getting it. Inspector Joe. Here, what
I need to get on the case.
What do you call? Yeah.
Inspector Joe.
Yeah, I need to get on the
What do you
case,
call
yeah.
detectives in England, or specifically Manchester, which I know is sort of a different dialect? Or
It is.
what
I'm
would
trying
you
to
call like a
think
detective in there? Inspector, right? Am I right about
I
that?
need someone to help me. I've not been back there for a while, so I would
Yeah,
say
he's
detective.
He's
A
very
detective?
Americanized.
I'm like
Can you
an
hear
Americanized-
his American accent?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we're just gonna say Inspector Joe.
we'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take
You got to
that.
call Inspector Joe. If you got a weird situation, you know, that would be something to definitely investigate. And I always say this when it comes to red flags: if there's 2, it's a no-go. If there's
Right.
1, start asking more questions, become more skeptical. If there's a second one, get the hell out of there. I don't care what it is. This could be walking down a dark alley at night. This could be buying a car. Anything. As soon as the second red flag shows itself, get out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all you need. It's the same. It's kind
Absolutely.
of a rendition of fool me once, shame on you, fool me
Right.
twice, shame on me kind of
Right.
thing. It's like, okay, give me two red flags and I'm out.
Exactly.
I don't need any more than that.
Yeah.
I know other realtors that use it.
HomeSnap?
HomeSnap.
HomeSnap.
HomeSnap is connected to the MLS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little bit better,
Yes.
more geographically oriented, and because that's the big thing is that like you're saying.
HomeSnap pulls directly from the MLS.
So it's just an MLS portal.
It is.
Okay.
But
So-
it's probably the quickest updated portal, faster than Realtor.com or anything else.
Okay.
So yes, James.
Because
HomeSnap.
that's the real problem. The real problem is when, you're like you said, you're showing a house stats and then just wrong address, or
Right.
like wrong,
Right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that matters.
Yes.
No, yeah.
Yeah. It's the problem is a lot of these other websites, Zillow, they're not being policed by a board, a real estate board. So I mean, it's going to take a number of people making a number of complaints before someone even dares to look at it. And do they really care that
I don't
it's
know.
incorrect?
I don't know because I don't think they're doing anything that's illegal. However,
Call it a mistake. Call it 100 mistakes.
there's no law against this particular action. However, like in certain states, like in Missouri, there's a bait and switch law.
Really?
Yes, there's a bait and switch law in Missouri for
Interesting.
advertising. If you advertise something that isn't actually there, the Attorney General in the state of Missouri will beat you down.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I wish we
Yes.
had that.
It's like,
Wow.
Like the
it's
bait and switch
minimum
Yeah.
$10,000 per occurrence, minimum
Wow.
per occurrence
We need to get that
in the
place.
state of Missouri. Yeah, no, they're very serious about it, and that really should be a federal thing. I mean, I
Sure.
think that's
I
what
agree with
what we're
you
missing here. I
completely.
hate to say let's make more rules, but it's like we already have 180,000 laws. Let's 180,000 and
One
one.
more.
Let's
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
hey, no bait and
Why not?
switch. I mean, if you're going to have a rule
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense to protect people. I think bait and switch is one of the simplest ones.
Well, what about the bait and switch? If we don't sell your home, we'll buy it.
I think there's just a lot of fine print on that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And people don't look into that. They think, oh, great, it's definitely going to get sold either way.
Hmm.
But what they don't see is the stipulations, like the realtor can choose the price that they buy it for,
Hmm.
or like every 30 days the price is going to drop, which you wouldn't agree to normally. But
Yeah.
there's stipulations that people don't see, and
And if you
Sneaky.
don't want to go
Yeah.
with it,
Sneaky.
they'll end up saying, oh, if you don't want to sign that listing agreement, let's just sign a normal one.
Hmm.
yeah,
And now you're working with someone that you wouldn't have chosen.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is what I would call a more of a traditional marketing, campaign. It's like,
Sure.
hey, let's tell you something that sounds good, but once you dig into it, it's not that great.
yeah.
Right.
And then now you're here, so why not buy something?
Yeah.
See, these are the people that lack, integrity. And that's not the type of agent that you want to work with. This is the largest investment that you're making. You are dealing with confidential and sensitive information. You are, making a huge purchase. You want someone on your side who has a massive amount of integrity, who's going to work on your behalf. And if someone is willing to go to certain lengths to get a client, it just makes you wonder, what else are they willing to do to get a deal done? What will they
Certainly willing to lie to
hide
you
from
Yeah,
you? Yeah,
100%.
certainly
Yeah.
willing
or
to lie.
overlook something that's a huge negative.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't worry about that. That's normal for
It's
this area.
so bothersome, and it actually really perturbs me. It's something that I dislike about that part of our industry. And
Buying the wrong house is a
yeah.
really bad situation to get
Sure.
into.
Yeah.
Buying a house that isn't for you, or buying a house that isn't going to work for you for the long haul, is a really bad situation to get into. It should not be taken lightly.
or even under terms that you don't want to agree to.
Yeah.
And I hear from people all the time that they just felt like they couldn't tell their agent they wanted to cancel. They just felt like that they were stuck. They didn't know that they could back out at that point. They didn't know that, there's a litany of things that people have been forced into because their agent has not been willing to listen, or was pretending they couldn't hear their buyer's problems because they didn't want to lose the deal.
They don't want to stop the deal
Yeah.
from progressing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's uncool, but unfortunately happens too much, and that's all of what we're trying to help dispel here and just make make known. We think people deserve to know the truth. We think people believe to have, we believe that people should have the opportunity to understand how things work that they're getting into, and that's why we were able to showcase this for you today. Share this video if you agree with us on that one, that people deserve to know the truth about how this stuff works, and when you're making such a big decision, I mean, enormous decision to purchase a home or to sell a home, either one, or both. A lot of people are doing both. They're selling one and buying another one.
Absolutely.
You really need a high integrity situation, and I don't know if you're finding that on some of these websites. So share this video. Let's help continue to make everyone in San Diego smarter than everyone else. Appreciate your time.